man. Me search for the money, and me looking for the money, but me not play with them. Me search for the money, and me looking for the money, but me not play with them. Me search for the money, and me looking for the money, but me not sell me soul. Me search for the money, and me looking for the money, but me not play with them. Enough them a talk, but them free with. Them talk about the business every day. We tell them every time, bring it any day. How we beat them still, how we beat them still. Enough them a talk, but they feel with. Them talk about the business every day. But we tell them every time, bring it any day, bring it any time of day. We search for the money, and me looking for the money, but me not play with them. Me search for the money, and me looking for the money, but me not play with them. Me search for the money, and me looking for the money, but me not sell me soul. Me search for the money, and me looking for the money, but me not play with them.
Boom, vroom, vroom. Yeah! We come in at the club and we find you looking extra hot. We try to escape, but we get caught. We just can't.
Armageddon production.
Yo, party rhymes, party signs. This girl is mine. Woo! And we're going to the bedroom. I need a man when I go lead them astray. Big backyard and slicky motor okay. But I'm a no, if I loosely attire. Listen me research and keep you standard higher. Every woman need a man when I go lead them astray. Big backyard and slicky motor okay. But rich man no, if I loosely attire. Listen me research and keep you standard higher. Say I when them the chant, love them not at them Chris, you know. Head to a Tommy Chaka don't need I bless, you know. Well, some boy a vex and a sex man back, you know. Run them down, you know. Double at them wrong, you know. From the time a boy a come and flex like Jen, you know. And not see them right, and I'm matching at the town, you know. Serious thing, me a chat, me not go fret, you know. Broke them out, no spend them can't fit, you know. Tell go give the wine, no make that chichi get a shock, you know. Pop to the drum, stop the lesson at them track, you know. Come I don't think give the friends them a proper fix, you know. And when she lay there, she have you on the khaki, sir. Naturally this thing we are holding and hands, you know. In case you never know, so the mighty get smashed, you know. Make the man know, I will take all me see me officer. But when me see there, a man with Jefferson. She need a man when I go lead her astray. Big backyard and sneaky motor okay. But rich man no, I know if I loosely attire. Listen me research and keep you standard higher. Every woman need a man when I go lead them astray. Big backyard and sneaky motor okay. But I man no, I know if I loosely attire. Listen me research and keep you standard higher. You're pretty black woman, say me love your character. Good in a your blouse and good in a your skirt. No man I wish, but can cross your border. Surely no man can't turn, no twist. Right now we bond the man when I go take the dot of them. Big boot feed them, make we take out the breed of them. Rasta bring the vibe, we make the people love the dot of them. Yeah, I go dicky to see them when we sing again. Peace and love when we preaching at the club. Dance all night anytime when we come. Take a girl and spin around. Hey, booger man can't stick around. My girl, you better than all your friends say that you need a better man. She'd rather stay at home and keep a king man warm. Smile book can't reply another part. She tell me handsome baby boy I really need your company. Anytime when you want run to me and come stab it. Not just for now but also in the days coming. Hada give it to me please and Tony. As a certified meal you know say that me not go turn way. Back it up girl and make me hit the runway. Love to someone now. Pass what me come walk here no I rub 9 months another bird. Every woman need a man when I go need them as stay. Big backyard and slicky but okay. Rich man no I know I feel lovely at a yard. Listen me research and keep you standard higher. Every woman need a man when I go lead them as stay. Big backyard and slicky but okay. Rich man no want. Pretty girl, listen this. I when them the chant, love the dot of them Chris, you know. Head to a Tommy check and don't need I bless, you know. Well, some boy I vex,
hello.
Man back, you know. From them down, you know. Double let them wrong, you know. From the time a boy I come and flex like Jen, you know. And I'm in the right, and I'm matching at the town, you know. Serious thing, me a chat, me not go fret, you know. Broke them out, no space them can't fit, you know. Don't go give the wine, make the chichi get a shock, you know. Pop to the drum, stop the lesson at the track, you know. Come, I love it, if and press them a proper fix, you know. And when she like that, she have it on the khaki, sir. Naturally, we have holding and hands, you know. In case you never know, so nobody gets smashed, you know. Make the man know, when you can visit me officer.
Hello.
Big backyard, sticky but okay. Rich man know if I loosely attire.
Hello. Hey. All of you, welcome. Now, today I decided to do it a bit, so I'm trying out different times to see what time this live stream actually airs. Vipi watu ngoyas, welcome to the channel. Now we have quite a bit to cover today. The trending topics of course, we are going to talk about the Somali FIFA referee who had been banned. It was the first Somali FIFA. It's a lot of fast, you know how they do the thing. Yeah, so the referee was banned. We are going to talk about that and different reports on the matter. Alafu, of course, we are going to talk about one of the people that have been claimed by the school unrest, the high school unrest right here in Kenya. We are going to the minister, the cabinet secretary. They used to call them ministers. The cabinet secretary is a casualty of this Guinea. Now, and then, of course, we are going to jump forward. We are going to go international as usual. When you come here, it's local and international. See, I'm here, just don't talk about local things. They're not interesting enough. Now, there was an attack by a Somali immigrant. Is it Somali or Sudanese? There's a confusion, but we'll find out. There in Belfast, Ireland, it has brought up sentiments, the normal, what people will describe as anti-immigrant sentiments. And this is something that is actually is going to be a big issue going forward in the West. The immigration, the allowed out of control immigration. Hey, Paul. My mouse. Then after we are done with that one, I'm going to talk about, there's this case in America that has just been concluded by a certain young man called Karmelo Anthony, who murdered another young man called Austin Metcalf. The reason why it's a story is because the race issue came up. It was a black kid that stabbed this white kid. They were in a school event, athletics event and whatnot. So we are going to talk about that, and of course I'm going to give you the underlying reasons why that one happened. So the very first thing we are going to do, let me just switch here with you people. We are going to go here to BBC. We are going to listen. Now, I show mainstream media reports because they do report about what's happening. At least they choose what to report. And this is just to give you an idea. Normally they'll give you basics. I'll of course give you the normal, how do you call it? I'm going to give you the normal disclaimers and the way that this mainstream media manipulates people, or at least tries to what's the word, to manufacture consent. That's what I call it. You're manufacturing consent, so to say that all people think a certain way. Anyway, let's listen into what is going to be said here, then we'll continue kama kawa. So I'm checking the charts, so I'll be there. Mdogo. Sawa. Let us start with this, madam.
World Cup was always likely, and with just 2 days to political controversy at the World Cup was always likely, and with just 2 days to go before the opening match, two incidents have hit the headlines. First, a Somali referee who was named African Referee of the Year has been withdrawn from the list of World Cup referees. This is after he was denied entry to the US. Omar Atan appears to have had the correct paperwork, so it's not clear why he was blocked. But the head of America's World Cup task force, Andrew Giuliani, accused Mr. Atan of talking to some very terrible people. While matches also take place in Canada and Mexico, the referee's base camp is located in Miami, and that means Mr. Atan would not be able to join the rest of the officials in between matches. In a statement from FIFA, they have said a host government ultimately determines who receives a visa and who is admitted into their country.
Now, that is the basics of it. And of course, we've had the normal noise from different people, Africans, woke people in the West. Oh, this is racism, Trump, America. Can we be clear about a few things first before we get ahead of ourselves with our nonsense? The first things first. America has been making headways, a lot of headways, especially this Trump administration, to kick out immigrants, illegal immigrants especially. Yes? Now, that's one of the main reasons why he got voted for. So make no mistake, when you hear, the illegal immigration issue has become, we've heard about South Africa, it's going everywhere where people feel that these people have come in They've come in and now they're being given preferential treatment over the native populations, and they are causing a lot of issues in those particular areas. So most people, especially the West and whatnot, they are starting to be anti-immigrant, especially because there's been masses of illegal immigration that have been moved to the West from the third world to be able to supplement their labor, which has had the effect of everything just going to pieces. The wages for the locals plummeted because supply and demand. The social services strained. And through all these, politicians are talking to those natives like, calling them racists, I don't know what, using emotional manipulation, or at least shaming tactics, so that these people don't actually say what they think. We've had also the same issue when the Somalis came here from Somalia during the civil war. Over the years, we've had kind of like we've had the tiff with them. But the main problem really here, as far as I am concerned, is how we take every single thing that happens in the West concerning a black person or a whatnot, we always take it up to 11. This is somebody who I've just seen. In fact, I have to show you guys here. Let me show you something. And I think this one is what brought this on. Let me show you real quick. Buhere. So this is on my Facebook. Let me just show you guys. So this guy, I'm going to show you this. Let me show you guys real quick. This here, this post. So I had not seen this. So Somali ref made one. So this is so Department of State, yes? State Department discusses Somalia's decision to complete the country's long overdue parliamentary elections for February 2025. We call on all Somalia's national and federal member state leaders to adhere to the newly agreed timeline and correct the procedural irregularities. So this is in 2022, when America was, superpower. I asked to say something. The way Somalia is a bed of terrorists and whatnot. So anyway, that was just for another day. But now this Omar somebody, this referee came down here, if you can see. Hands off my country, you are the biggest spoiler. You failed miserably in Ethiopia. Now you are trying to make that up in Somalia, but you know little about us. Yes. So what I find very strange is that after somebody shows such sentiments that you actually expect that America will be fine just letting him in. Why? You see, every country has the right, for whatever reason, to deny you entry. Just the same way you have the right to deny anyone entry to your house. It doesn't matter for what reason, whether they're being rained on outside, whatever is happening, you have the right to deny people entry into your home. Also, in this case, I'm referring to the country. Anyway, let's hear what else that comes out of this. Continue.
Separately, and with Iran's players already in Mexico for their opening match, Iran's Football Federation has said its ticket allocation for the World Cup has been withdrawn.
Yes.
Neither football's governing body nor US organisers have commented on the Iranian accusation.
Now, this is the thing. We of course know the Iran war with the US and Israel right now. This is something you should expect. They're not going to allow fans to just come in. If you're not in already, you're not coming in. It's because this is actually why wouldn't Iran send some mercenaries or somebody? Why wouldn't they? Why would America risk that? They're already at war right now. I think there's this silliness we've accepted these days, that people have to capitulate using emotional manipulation. They capitulate to let things happen to them. By calling people racist, they are what. You think that you'll emotionally manipulate them to stop taking care of themselves or looking after themselves. It's happened a lot in the West, and the Western leftists, the white people, the leftists, they pushed it because they wanted. It was actually a very big movement of trying to let in as many third worlders in, because for cheap labor. That's cheap labor and political power in terms of voting. And that's what happened here. And the native populations They were being lulled to sleep as this was happening. Their jobs were being taken to China, Mexico, India, whatever. So once this happened, and then now whatever work you're doing locally, they bring illegals to come and undercut your pay, and then they are full. So it spoils everything. Now, as far as Iran is concerned, they are not going to allow Iranians to come in randomly. In fact, I think these footballers have been very stringently looked at, that basically, if any of them, even right now, they find he has a touch or even said hi to some terrorists, they know you're out immediately. And that is America's every right. Just because we have football now does not mean at all that now everything else has to be, the immigration laws have to be, what's the word? They have to be set aside just so that, because this is what I've found to be very disturbing. There's just too much of this. It's always, we have to try and emote the most we can so that people allow us to do what they don't want us to do, but what we want to do, take advantage of them. The third world and the other people, we are trying to take advantage of the first world now. Now, if you move there, you decide that it's your right to move there. It's not your right to move there. And then you use the colonialisms, what. You forget your buffoons here who are destroying everything. But then you go to the West because you know that's where it's at. You know that's where opportunities are, because we can't create our own opportunities here. So that becomes the umbrella in which we are making this argument. So I'm just going to let her say the rest of her piece here, then I'll continue with my commentary. So at the same time, I want to send someone, I had to send people a link to come to the live stream right now.
But let's speak now to Mohammed Moody, who is a prominent Somali sports journalist who has been following the case of the Somali referee. Good to have you with us. Where is he now? And has he said anything about the fact that he is now not going to be able to referee at the World Cup?
Just wait for a moment. No, sorry.
Which is surely,
continue.
Mohammed, the experience of a lifetime and the culmination of a career.
Oh, the emotional appeal.
Thank you, Lydia, for having me today. Omar now is in Turkey and he's planning to back Mogadishu tomorrow. As he was denied and blocked to enter in the United States. I spoke to him 2 times since yesterday. He told me that he has not get this time any clarification that has been provided yet from the U.S. why he was not enter in the United States. And he said that he's now a shock because he has been spent many years to be such a World Cup or to be a big stage. So he traveled from Kenya through Turkey and eventually arrived in the United States, but he was blocked. Before his before he got his visa, it was also difficult to get the visa.
Yes.
That's why he went to the Kenya and then looking the visa for days, and then travel from Nairobi through Turkey to the United States. So tomorrow he will back to Mogadishu.
We've had this accusation from Andrew Giuliani, who is part of the America's World Cup Task Force, who says that Mr. Atan has been talking to some very terrible people. Do you know what he's referencing there?
So far, no clear explanation has been provided, but he said he never talked to anyone. He grew up and raised a country that has been a war for many years. He has dedicated for sport, and he's a symbol of the country and also an African continent. He has won the best African referee of the year. He's also a public figure in Somalia. He has got also award from the Somali government that he has been promoting peace through football through peace. So he has no idea eventually what they call why they have not let him to be one of the referees in the World Cup. And he said, I don't know why they have rejected me. I never talked to anyone, and he has no idea about that.
I didn't
but the
do
only
nothing.
thing he knows that he has a problem with the Somali passport, and the U.S. government said that Somalia is one of the countries that has been restricted to travel for the Somali passport to the USA. That's the only issue that he knows so far.
Mohammed, thank you so much. Just to clarify as well, we have had some response in from the Somali government, who has backed him and his integrity. They have pledged their unwavering support and described Mr. Atan as a model of professionalism and also as of national pride, as Mohammed was just referring to there. Well, many critics of this year's World Cup are arguing that the World Cup is losing its meaning the moment the competition is being so restrictive. So here's the...
Now, let's be clear about certain things here, because this narratives that now the world has become... what is the word? The world is not a World Cup anymore. Let's talk about this for a moment. How many countries are being represented in the World Cup right now? Yes, it's not the whole world. How many referees from which countries are being represented at the World Cup? We don't have Kenyan referees. We don't have... do we? Does Djibouti have a referee there? Does Eswatini, do they have a referee there? Anyway, the entire thing is because what they want to do, generally speaking, in the media, they want to raise this to be a big issue, and so that they can... Because let's be honest about it. This is about Donald Trump and his immigration thing. This is a fact. This is, if you crystallize this entire thing to what it is, the fact that this referee has been banned, it has nothing to do... It has everything to do with Donald Trump and his immigration stuff, and America, the way they are doing it right now. Because every single time we have this thing going on, what happens? There's always some woke person coming in with a narrative, the racism, the this. No. America decided, because of what went on in Minnesota and other places, and you could see how the Somalis were behaving in Minnesota. They're one of the countries they've banned. They don't want people to come from. On top of the terrorism, manenos and whatnot, they don't want you to come in. So they should change all the laws to just for the football tournament. For one person, he's not an essential for the tournament. He's not a Ronaldo. He's not Messi. He's not essential. And we know that. But what we are trying to do is create narratives, because of course we have to create narratives about everything happening in America, because the woke people can't let people just enjoy things. You know, every single small thing. They're having a war with Iran. Yes. Why would they allow Iranians into America at this particular moment? We're in the middle of war. That's why you're opening a door for your enemies to bring in troops. Are you stupid or something? It's not going to happen. That's why they've banned the Iranian fans. But the team is there, but I know they are very under serious scrutiny. And on this other side, this guy, they don't want people from Somalia. I think they've had a very, how do you mention it? A very tumultuous past and present with the Somali community in America. Let's be real about it. When all that stuff was coming up about the fraud in Somalia, what did you see? And then the worst thing about it these days as Africans, it doesn't matter what the person has done. You support him anyway. Even if he's a scumbag, you just support him. Or her, or whoever. Just because they're African, or they're Kenyan, or they're... No. Because this is everywhere. From the time we did George Floyd, the entire world of black people, now we have to bow down to the Saint George Floyd. Basically a career criminal who would have probably died, should have died earlier. While he's terrorizing his community for years. Nobody cared, but then he was turned into a hero for us, black people. That George Floyd is a hero to me. Are you guys stupid or something? After he's terrorized his community for years, then he met his day, that day. You turned it into a worldwide nonsensical protest for nothing. You fell for the BLM guys who are there to make money, as I always tell you. Where is the BLM now? They are suing each other, whatnot. And the entire ideology is the same thing they are pushing here. That every single thing that as long as an African or some whatever they're calling minority is involved, you have to start these narratives against white people. Why is that? Why is it always that narrative that there is no introspection on our part? And in fact, these FIFA people also and their wokeness, this is something that should have already been discussed. They shouldn't be here. They would have already asked the American State Department or immigration or whoever, said, is this person allowed? I heard you guys said nobody comes from Somalia. Yes, he's not supposed to come here. So that we don't have this. But they had to do this so these stories to happen. This is what I need you guys to understand. This is something that would have been solved very, very clearly. If at all, if they wanted to solve it. But they wanted this narrative. Because, of course, the orange man is bad. Let's listen to what else they are saying.
International's head of sport, Stephen Coburn.
You know, if this can happen to international referee.
Okay, let me ask you something. Do you think Americans and anyone really cares that the Somali government has back, or what do they say? They have their back is integrity. Now, if he's a very influential human being there in Somalia, of course, he's rubbing shoulders with those Al-Shabaab people. What are you guys talking about? You guys are Mjuangi Somalia. Of course, and I'm sure somewhere in there, Americans have that intelligence and they saw this guy is here. Just, hiding in plain sight. I'm just thinking that's probably one of the reasons it's not there. On top of the fact that they're not accepting Somalis in America.
Stephen Coburn.
You know, if this can happen to international referee, and we've also seen examples of journalists and others being denied visas. You can imagine the difficulties from everyday travelers going to the US. So it's one more example about how this World Cup is not fulfilling the promise of uniting the world. It's becoming divisive. It's becoming...
this is the narrative. Who told you that? Because of this one Somali referee that now... No. The leftist media and their idiots are trying to create a narrative out of it. Let me tell you something. And this is actually the challenge I have, because most people just talk out of their behinds and they're not really about that life. If this thing has hurt your feelings so much, don't watch the World Cup. Let it fail. But we are not going to do that. Me personally, I'm not going because I'm not woke and stupid. But most people are not going to boycott the World Cup. You're going to sleep late to watch this thing, boy. And we are all, it's even going, I'm very sure it's going to break viewing record somewhere. All this little nonsense like this, having this to gay mainstream media idiots trying to tell us about how it is not really like togetherness. No, the World Cup is a business. All this or togetherness thing is for PR. What it is a sports business, okay?
And there's some urgent action need to be taken to make sure that everyone can participate in this World Cup.
What are your other concerns, Stephen, and Amnesty's concerns about human rights at this World Cup?
Let me ask you some. Everyone is not going to participate in the World Cup. There's a select group of teams. There was a process to get everyone here. So already what he's saying, it's PR. Everybody needs to participate. No. In fact, no, not everyone gets to participate in everything. In fact, there's not one thing we all participate in except in death and birth. Those are the only things we participate in. Everything else is chosen. People do not want everybody where they are. There are people who culturally they don't fix. There are some people who in terms of standards they don't have. So nobody mixes like it's an everyone PO. No. First of all, this is a football tournament. So it's already closed down to football fans and acolytes. Then from there, when you move from there, what else do you see? The brands. The brands everywhere. What do you think that is? And the thing is this. The only reason the PR is like that is that they want a big market. They want to sell to a lot of people worldwide. But some of us, markets are too small and irrelevant. You know that, don't you? We don't buy things. We don't buy football merchandise original from the team. They know these things. So even when they are giving you this PR, they understand what their primary markets are. And the reason why it's in America is because America, despite coming into soccer a bit late, or football, as we say, they've built the infrastructure. They have the team and they have the money and they have a league. And now they are perennial World Cup competitors. We've had football longer than America. Where are we? And see, this is the thing. Because for me, I set my standards there. Yeah, anyway, let's continue with this
One of the biggest concerns we've got is around immigration enforcement in the US.
Yes.
We've all seen what's been happening in the US over the last 18 months. Last year, over 500,000 people deported from the US government, often in horrific ways and horrific conditions. There've been...
You see, that is another media bias and manipulation that we saw. It is in horrific ways. Let nobody lie to you. There's no one that deports people better than the US in terms of conditions. You won't be any other country that you will be deported from. First of all, the hole you'll be sleeping in and what you'll be eating before you are deported. My friend, let's be clear about this thing. This guy is skewing, because it's BBC, he's skewing it the way the leftists want it. They want mass migration. They don't want people to be deported, blah, blah, blah. They're in the UK, it's the same problem. That's the same problem going on. So they are attaching their politics as it is on entertainment, always destroying our entertainment and bringing a lot of woke bullshit there. And then Africans, so they are jumping on every time. Even that stuff, taking the knee for George Floyd. Oh, what disgusting, stupid behavior. Pretentious. That you're black. Let's put a black again in a profile picture. You guys and your performative outrage is
no guarantees
so fake.
At all from the US authorities or from FIFA that World Cup.
America has a right to enforce their immigration laws. Just because the previous government wasn't enforcing and in fact was bringing in people en masse doesn't mean that this one has to do the same thing. What are you guys talking about? And you see, even the previous government was woke. Yes, the Democrats. And these are diametrically opposing positions. They don't want the immigration, but these people now, they say, we've been looking at the last 18 months about the immigration. Yes, they're kicking out. That's why they were voted in. They didn't lie about it. They didn't say, they said we are going to kick these illegals out. And people voted for them for the first time in almost 3 decades that a Republican wins the popular vote. And it's the one Republican everybody's calling horrible and bad. But he's broken all those records. Somewhere in your brain, it doesn't connect. Why doesn't it connect? This is the popular position in the West, to kick out illegal immigrants. And if Somalia has been put on the list of people not coming, that's what's going to happen.
Cup events, whether that's around stadiums or in neighbourhoods, would not be targeted for immigration enforcement. So this puts a lot of fear amongst fans and communities, travelling fans and communities in the US, about can they gather safely to watch and enjoy this World Cup. And we really need to see much firmer...
The thing is, if you are not legally there, you can't gather safely. Let's just be real about it. And I think if I was an immigration enforcement person in America, those are where I'll target, because it is South Americans, Africans, those are the ones who love soccer the most. Football. Yes, you target there, those South American joints and all, and you collect people. So this person doesn't want that to be used as an avenue. But guess what? It's still the bars are going to be packed because America has over 350 million legal people in there. You think that the immigrants are the main concern? You see, this is the problem we have. That these people who've come into that country illegally are being put above the normal. No, the normal are the ones who are paying for this stuff. They're the ones who are watching the matches, buying all those packages for Paramount. I don't know what. They're the ones doing that. They're the ones who have the most money. But somehow the narrative has to be twisted for it to look horrible. This is actually, in case you are new here and you don't understand, this channel, I am thoroughly against wokeness. This progressive Western stuff, the damage it's done, and the fact that most of you are actually quite dense in terms of following what's going on. In fact, that most of you have been taken in by this narrative. So every time BBC comes out, they stopped this Somali referee. They are not letting in Somalis, my friend. Why do they have to change the laws so that you can feel good? You don't even care about this. You didn't know about this referee until 2 days ago. You didn't care about it. Even last year when he was voted best referee in Africa, nobody cared. But now you want to, come on now, stop pretending.
Here are guarantees for fans and communities that they will be safe and they'll be free to exercise their rights.
What do you make of FIFA's response to all of this? Firstly, on the referee saying it's up to the host nation to enforce their kind of rules. It's basically not
isn't it always the host nation to handle immigration? Isn't that always the case? Do you see, they don't even make sense. Yes, they told you, FIFA has told you we don't have jurisdiction over countries' immigration policies. Yes, if you brought some woke idiot from Somalia, we are going to not allow him here. An anti-American referee. Like, why would you do that? I don't get it. Why would somebody invite into their home somebody they know that to purely hate them? Although a lot of this hatred, you claim you hate America, but all of you are trooping to America. Oh, you are complaining our visas are too expensive. It's expensive because all of you want to go there. Supply and demand. Oh, our visa fees. Like, stop going then. You see, there's this silliness we have where we think anything we want, if we can try and guilt somebody to allow us to do it. You guys have to understand something. If the Kenyan visa was people are lining up everywhere to come to Kenya, even our visa fees will be high, very high, and it will be very difficult to come in. That's the way things are. Things that are rare, things that are good, they're hard to get. Now, if you want to move to America, you can talk all your nonsense. Oh, you America bad. Oh, America hegemony. You can say all that, but given half a chance, you've run to the visa office, American embassy, to go get your visa to move to America. Ask the Kenyans who are in America. They all cry, they're all talking racism because they all became woke, most of them. Oh, racism. But tell them to come back to their shithole country and they tell you. That racism it's not even, whatever they claim to be racism is what they also practice, the normal tribalism. And they won't leave America because of that racism. No.
Their remit,
pretenders.
But also, Stephen, I guess the lack of accountability that there appears to be from FIFA.
That's right. I mean, FIFA's response on this issue and other issues has been very, very weak. FIFA has invested in an extremely close relationship with President Trump.
Yes.
We've seen that with the awarding of the FIFA Peace Prize, with endorsing President Trump's Board of Peace. Yet it's not used that leverage and that closeness to power to prioritize human rights in this tournament and to protect.
What human rights, man? Like, what is this guy talking about? It's not your right to immigrate to another country or even get in for any reason. It doesn't matter whether they just don't like your face or your hair. They have every reason, like every country in this world, to deny you entry. You have no rights to move into another country and work because this is work. You don't have the right. What do you mean human rights? Because the problem with this Western media, this leftist media, is how they're always layering all their nonsensical activism in just reporting. Now, this idiot here, 100% is gay. I'll find out. He's gay, definitely. This guy like this now is what is pushed there to try and plant those seeds or the immigration or human rights. It's not your right to immigrate or work in America or Kenya or even Somalia, though they have porous. Nobody wants to go there. Porous.
The rights of fans, of communities, of officials and players. Instead, it's been sort of relentlessly pursuing profit and proximity of power, and we feel it's got the priorities the wrong way round.
Hey, idiot. So, football, FIFA World Cup is first a business. This is the nonsense I really hate. These people make money from the same. This reporting, it's all from that. They make money when these tournaments make money, when whatever they're doing makes money, their station. They want you to think that it's not about money. Let's first of all step back a bit, you guys. What is this pretense? Let me, because this thing really, really frustrates me. In which world do we pretend that what we do is not for money? That because money is the main facilitator. It's our main facilitator for everything to survive. In which world is a business being treated like it's not there for business? Like, what are we doing here? And these are the narratives that this is why I started doing this lives, because live, you can listen to someone and debunk what they are saying, because a lot of people just follow these narratives. They don't understand the genesis of it. Where does it come from? Anyway.
FIFA should be standing up for the rights of people impacted by football, and it's not doing that.
What does that mean? They have to stand up to the rights of people impacted by football. So everyone. So FIFA is now is responsible for your rights as a football fan, as a World Cup fan. You see, these are some of the terms you people hear, and you just dismiss it because they sound nice. But they're nonsensical. What does it mean? That people must stand up for their rights. First of all, it is not your right. He's lying. It's not your right to immigrate to any country. Not a right, remember, to go work and live in America or for a month and do World Cup. It's not your right. If the America said we don't want you here, that's the end of it. Okay? You can maybe have a few of these woke idiots to make some noise, and maybe you can build some career out of the online. You can eat off the online woke people. You can talk all the woke stuff. You can follow all the woke stuff so that you can make money. By the way, woke people are very easy to lie to. Anyway, most ideologues are easy to lie to. You only need to pretend like you're with them and say what they want to hear. Then after that, they'll just tell you, until the next time when you what's the word, you misgender someone.
Is there not also an issue, Stephen? I've covered World Cups in Qatar, and also I was in Moscow for the World Cup in Russia. That we talk about these things before kickoff, but once the matches get underway, everyone is just caught up in the joy of the game, and people say that's what it's about. It's about the actual football.
Yes.
And that happens in most tournaments. The reality of things, of course, it's an amazing sport. I love the World Cup. I watch the World Cup. I have done ever since I was a kid.
I doubt him. He's one of those. He say, I've always watched adventure films. Oh, I've always read these novels. I've always no, you did not.
And part of the issues around this event is that we want to see how the World Cup magnifies other issues in society going on. It's really important that we do that in the build-up.
No, this is the problem. That means what he's saying is that we need to use World Cup to push our activism. And that's where me and these people I don't want your activism in my art, in my entertainment, sports. I don't want none of it. I don't want to hear about your racism or your misogyny or the patriarchy. I don't want to hear any of it. I don't want to hear about your children suffering in Somalia. I don't want to. The reason that entertainment is there. The reason that entertainment is there, my friend, is because it's giving me an escape from this daily hustle. These problems that we can deal with cacamoniously. Anywho, enough of this woke nonsense. Let's talk about the fallout from the school. The school's debacle, from Utumishi, the fire, and the way those your psychotic kids killed the other kids, to now the aftermath. Who have been victims of this? Who have been victims of this school's? How do you call it? The school's mayhem. Now all your kids now don't wanna go to school. Of course, they are going to do that. So we are going to listen in because a cabinet secretary has been changed because of this. I know this is what normally they do. And the PRs in Maribika, what do? They want to tell us. You see that what you saw there was a split screen. The chromas that you can put two ninis in one. I find that I find it helpful. So let's listen into what KTN has to say.
Before we begin this broadcast, at 9:30, we'll be having a conversation with Britham's general manager.
Britham has paid for a slot.
And that is none other than Mr. Dennis Moria. We'll be talking about matters legacy planning and
come on.
Stay with us just to do how you can get wealth or build wealth that can not only serve generation. We begin our broadcast now, and tonight, Principal Secretary Professor Julius Bitok has been reassigned from the basic education
Reassigned means fired. No, okay, not really fired. Demoted. Because the education ministry has a lot of money. A lot of money and a lot of power. You know, the people are behind, the teachers, the administrators, students. It's a huge chunk of people. Yes.
Get to the State Department for Tourism in a shakeup affecting 2 ministries. As pressure mounted over the escalating wave of unrest in schools, the changes come amid growing criticism of his leadership, even as the government convened a high-level meeting after nearly 200 schools were affected by disturbances, with more institutions continuing to send learners home. And Musingu opens our broadcast with that story.
Let me tell you what happened. Now, you've seen basically these students, your kids, they're very dangerous, like physically dangerous. So a lot of these teachers, they've been threatened by these students for a very long time. They're like, hey, this time they just kind of have an opportunity where they can really come after us. They decided, no, let's just give them back to their parents. They deal with their vagabonds by themselves. That is what this is. This of sending kids home immediately, the WhatsApp groups have already planned another thing. They're like, no. Come on, me, I have my own kids. I have my own problems. Please take your kids. When they are disciplined, bring them back. And as I was saying earlier in my previous videos about this particular issue, the main culprit of this is the parents. I changed my order. Parents, then their kids, right beneath them. The teachers, administration, Gava comes after that. But the parents and their feral kids, those are the number one people who are causing this issue. Because the parents, of course, you guys don't discipline your kids. Most of your kids are born to single mother homes, so of course there is no father to discipline the kid. Kwambia mami kwenda huko. The number of times where I live, there are many. There are many single mothers here, and their kids. You can tell the home without a father and the home with a father. You can tell with the behavior immediately. Ikifika time or something, you see all the kids, the fathers, they've run lunchtime, they've stopped playing, they don't destroy things. Then the other ones are remaining outside crying, being pulled in by their mothers. Let's go and eat, and they're screaming. Anywho, I digress.
A major shake-up in the Ministry of Education has seen Professor Julius Bitok removed from the State Department of Basic Education and reassigned to the State Department of Tourism under the Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife. Taking over the education docket with immediate effect is John Lekakeny Ololtua, who moves from the Tourism Department.
This guy is...
The principals and the
teachers.
Don't force these students to do exams. Negotiate with them.
This is what drives me insane now. You are negotiating with your kids. You adults want to negotiate with these kids. That's your plan. These feral and disciplined kids who've never been taught anything and just want to chill and have a good time scrolling on TikTok. That is what you are the adults in this room, and you're trying to hand over the responsibility to the kids because you don't want to take care of this rot that you've created. Is that what I'm hearing here? Like, I really hate these politicians when they go on. Just these kids are not gonna vote now, you idiot. So what are you doing? Oh, you're trying to pacify these parents, These parents who've created this situation. Because they are the voters. This guy already with that is a buffoon. Bitok, buffoonery 101.
Changes come amid mounting criticism over Bitok's
Don't force them to do it. Don't force them to take any responsibility. I mean, why should our kids have any responsibility? I mean, don't force them to do exams that is supposed to test whether they know anything about these months we've spent in school. Don't force them. They might get mad and burn something. Like, what are you people on? I'm telling you, and I'm sending another warning to you parents. Your kids are going to come out here and meet the world, which is us. I am not going to be nice to any of your brats. And most of the people, they're not going to be nice to your brats. Sisi ulimwengu, we are going to teach these people a lesson. When they become thugs out here, we deal with them cacamoniously. When they start behaving lazy, they don't do anything. If they come to work for us and they don't do the work, we fire them immediately. And we don't even talk nicely to them. We don't want to deal with these people of yours. Now all of you and the government are now consolidating to try and pacify them by giving them what they want, which is to do nothing. Not to do exams. Actually, they say they don't want to do exams. I was seeing some stipulations. Some girls' school, they'd written what they wanted, food. They just wanted food and not to do exams. Like, these are people you guys are giving. You're saying don't force them.
Of the escalating wave of unrest in senior schools. His suggestions that examinations could be postponed or cancelled alongside proposals for negotiation with students sparked sharp debate among education stakeholders, school leaders and political figures across the country.
Technical person, your president, and mislead.
You want to negotiate with these kids, bro? What the hell is going on? Everywhere in the world, I've actually seen this thing. Like, the grown-ups are kind of stepping back and pretending that the youngsters who have never built anything, don't know anything, that they're the ones now who can give direction on how we do things. What have they shown? What have they shown that you have to hand over that? That let's negotiate with these children. Negotiate with this. This hot over here, or some bamboo sticks on the buttocks. That's the only negotiation there is. You do what I want or you get out. I was saying, some of you you're not going to like the solutions, but these are the solutions. If your kid is too feral, just kick them out of the house. Let them go out there, be rained on, suffer, go get drunk, take drugs, whatever they want to do. If they come back with discipline. If they don't come back, you lose some, you win some. That's life. But what you guys want to do is try and force society to accept these suboptimal situations, so that your stupid kids, your indisciplined kids can continue to destroy society with you. So we just sit back, just negotiate with them. Go to hell, all of you, with your nonsense.
Unaweza kaa chini na negotiate na mtoto wa shule, umwambie siku ya mtihani ni siku fulani, ama tusongeshe mbele kidogo. It is not possible. Si ni sheria.
Yeah, it's not possible. That's exactly it. It's not possible to negotiate with them and tell them when this is okay, baby, when do you want to do exams? Oh, Denzel, do you want hey, Wajiko, do you want exam this week or next week? Oh, by the way, this is also going on in these two colleges your kids are going. I taught in one. It's called African Digital Art something. I'll put it. That's a scumbag school. If you've sent your kid there, they are learning nothing. I never marked entire grade, and those kids have they have grades. Those schools don't teach your kids anything. Just like your high schools, there's a lot of corruption in post-high school education. People are just making money. As long as that buffoon can just be given, just mpitishe tu apate diploma, and so when they come out here with diplomas, you think you are getting someone, then you start and they don't know anything. Start working for you, they don't know anything. Then there's the arrogance and Maze Buddha, like you know what I usually laugh is when people my age try to make that like cool. Like, shut up, you pathetic people. You've corrupted everything. Now you can't even you don't want to follow basic things that actually build societies. Just PR everywhere. Oh, our kids, shut up. Your kids, in fact, as far as I'm concerned, your kids are surplus to requirement.
Filed by the Consumer Federation of Kenya, COFEC, seeking his removal from office. The lobby group cited concerns over accountability, management failures, and growing challenges within the education sector, arguing that urgent leadership changes were necessary.
This is all
as the
politics,
government
no
today
solutions.
held a stakeholder meeting to deliberate on the rising cases of school unrest in a bid to find a lasting solution to the problem. The meeting was chaired by Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki, who noted that about 200 schools had been affected by the unrest.
The government condemns with the strongest terms possible acts.
These guys have never got another script. They only say the same. We condemn with the strongest terms possible this heinous act. So performative.
Of
Lord of mercy.
Indiscipline, especially to the level that has assumed some of this.
By the way, I've forgotten. I haven't talked about Gachagwa's impeachment. I'm going to do a video about that tomorrow. I'll put it just a side video. It was very interesting to watch the hearing and the outcome. It's Kenya. We are cooked, you guys.
Orchestrating arson.
Yes.
Even as leaders met to seek solutions, the crisis continued to spread, with several schools sending learners home amid fears of fresh violence and suspected arson attacks.
Yes, now what they are doing, by the way, all they are doing is they don't want to deal with your feral kids. They don't want to deal with them. Your feral children are creating a lot of mayhem in public schools. Like, why would you think people would spend time to take care of kids that can't listen to anything? Kids that, for all intent and purposes, are behaving like their parents, can't take responsibility or deflect. You still never listen someone saying, you need to negotiate with the students. Like, this society, sometimes I listen to adults speak, I'm like, oh my God, we are cooked. You guys, you're not working. You're trying to send your kids to fight political battles or Gen Z protests. They get destroyed. Oh, you come back crying. Why is the government doing that? It's like you don't know. It's like you've not gone through this. You've not seen this happen over years. Then now schools are bad. Oh, we need to negotiate. Oh my goodness. We are really in a bad way, aren't we? We're in a bad way. The adults in the room have no capacity to solve problems. So now let's negotiate with their buffoon kids. So let me just let's listen to what this on TV. You know, I like to sample the different what do you call them? The different media houses, so that we can have a more balance. Although sometimes they kind of have a uniform messaging. But anyway, let's see.
Moja kwa moja.
Kiswahili.
Whatever grievances that our learners may have, there can never be justification for causing death and destroying property.
Exactly.
Any grievances must be addressed through appropriate channels without resorting to unlawful actions or violence. This is to inform the country that all perpetrators who would have been found to be involved in such actions will be dealt with firmly and in accordance with the law.
Same script.
As a ministry, we have undertaken preliminary reviews of most of the cases that have occurred. From our analysis and from the reports across the country, less than 2% of the country's senior schools have been affected by this unrest, meaning that most of our schools, around 98%, remain stable and continue with their normal operations.
Yeah, but anyway, I suspect this is correct. It's not, there are thousands of schools that are just fine. But you see, what it does is that it precipitates this behavior so that next time it's even bigger. Because these days communication is not the problem, even transportation. So they would plan this now, they see how it worked out. Then next time it will even be bigger, it will be multiple hundreds of schools, and it will continue like that. Because, and I suspect this is going to come up, because I'm looking at school administrations, I'm looking at the government, telling you that you need to negotiate with your brats, that don't want to go to school or do exams, that are banning others, that are causing murder. Like, they want you to negotiate with those brats. Yes, first. And then secondly, you want the administration, the corrupted administration that has destroyed these schools for years. Yeah, they're so corrupt, they're overcrowded. The parents are part of that mix. They're only sending Mpesa to these teachers. Oh, chunga mtoto wangu. And your kid is a dunderhead. And your kid can't listen because he's not been disciplined from home. If there's no father there to tell him this, you think that teacher is going to do anything? No. If the mother doesn't discipline the kid, is always capitulating to their demands, you think that the teacher is going to take that up and then you'll sort out your kid? No. So we have found ourselves here now that we are getting the same treatment, and this is going to continue because none of you is willing to solve the problem. You don't want to solve the problem. You don't want to do the hard work that has been precipitating for decades, for generations. You don't want to deal with that. You don't want your silly kids to miss out on opportunities even when they don't deserve them. You want to corrupt the school system, what do you say? The way kids are taken to schools. You corrupted that entire system. You're paying school administrations to let in your damn kids that got C- into national schools. Then now you want to dilute the national schools because it's not good for the damn kids to actually know they are dumb. Or like, you've created all this nonsensical fluff around a very serious issue, and now you don't want to deal with it. Because unajua nani alienda out jana, your child went is probably a drunk, doesn't listen to you, probably has slapped you a few times and you don't know what to do. You've refused to kick them out. Kick them out to the cold. You see how that behavior changes. It changes immediately.
Most of the schools that are affected are boarding senior schools.
Yeah, of course.
With
that's where the food
senior
is bad.
Schools largely proceeding with the activities uninterrupted.
Yeah, they are going back home to eat good food.
We have so far received reports of unrest affecting 204 senior schools across the country. And of those 204, 59 have since returned to schools and resumed their studies, with more continuing to return. Learners in grade 1 to 9 in our institutions are proceeding with their studies with no interruption reported. As it were, therefore, our basic education system is running smoothly except for the disruption in the boarding senior schools that are mentioned.
Okay.
We take this early opportunity to commend the majority of our learners in schools across the country for remaining disciplined and committed to their studies.
You guys don't take the studies of your kids that seriously. You just want a babysitter. You want to send your silly kids to other people to give them the headache that they're giving you at home. Yes, you want other people to carry for you that weight that you've been saddling yourself with. Your low IQ child that doesn't have the capacity to even just do basic human things, just basic things, they don't have that. Just silly. Anyway, let's move on from that. Now, the casualty is not really a casualty. He'll just move to a less prominent ministry. He still make his money. Probably the deals will be less, but that's up because he was not able to to handle this prepubescent key children up to 18. Some of them are old these days. Anyway, now I wanted to jump to the Belfast attack in Ireland, and this is we are going to spend a bit of time here so that I can explain to you why the sentiments that have come out of it are what they are. But we are going to listen first of all to a report by Sky, then we are going to listen to a few politicians from the UK and whatnot, then tuendelee namna hiyo. Ama vipi? Let me just switch here for you. Switching us. So this is the first. So what you're seeing next there is a guy called Rupert Lowe. Is the new populist politician in the UK. So we're going to go next there. And of course, no, I forgot to listen to Larry Madowo. He was talking about the referee. He's such a woke pretender. Anyway, let's continue.
About a knife attack in North Belfast.
What? Oh.
Which the Prime Minister has condemned as horrific and sickening. They say the victim has suffered significant injuries to his eyes, back and head, and a kitchen knife was recovered at the scene.
So, I've watched the video. You have to watch some of this go. The guy had basically, the Irish guy, the white guy was down this Somali stroke Sudanese. I don't remember if he's, what did they say? So this guy was on top. He had a knife. He was stabbing him on his face. It was just Jesus. Let's continue. So he was stabbing him on his face. He's trying to cut him on the throat. It was weird. And then there's this person who's recording. Maybe because of fear or whatnot, it wasn't going. Then there are some people who came and took him. The way I saw that they responded to it, it looked weak. Like if it was anywhere, people like myself and my crew were there, that guy would be dead by now. That's just a fact. Like the way he was just there, like somebody's trying to carve somebody's eyes out. Go to X, you'll watch that video. I want to show it here because YouTube will get anal with me.
A man from Sudan has been arrested and officers
Sudan,
have appealed
okay.
to the public
Sudanese.
to remain calm. A warning, what you're about to see is distressing. It shows an image of the incident and the moments after passers-by and police intervened to stop the attack.
Huh.
Well, this is...
So this is the video. So this is where he's kneeling there. Then he has this guy down. You're seeing down here. And then he's trying to carve him. Literally. Throat. Then it was just...
Still image of the video of the attack. We are not broadcasting the attack itself.
Yeah, so yeah, they were trying to
aftermath
remove the
when
guy.
Passers-by intervened to try to help the victim before the police arrived. They have been praised for their bravery by politicians and the police.
They should have just have taken the guy out. Some of these people like this, you shouldn't really hold them out too much. Just you're seeing this guy is trying to do this, trying to kill someone else. Just take them out. Just make sure they don't have another chance or they go to court or something. Just finish it. That's the way we should deal, because unfortunately there's too much persistent acceptance of these criminal minds, and it's for his childhood. I don't care. I don't care how your childhood was. I don't care. Your childhood did not make you do this. It is your IQ plus your stupidity plus your entitlement. These fuckers, you see now this what the Sudanese are doing to themselves in their country right now. Many Sudanese have been exported Australia, where countries all over the place, even here Kenya. And we see how they behave. There's no, it's not a culture of controlling impulses. They want what they want and they'll come take by force. Now this is the thing. I don't know, probably this guy said something or they were arguing about something, or maybe just randomly. That's the weird thing. We have a lot of this in the West right now, especially in Europe. Just immigrants, like I was watching videos of Paris. Like in France, they let in so many, like people are just hanging out like in the public, just being conmen, pickpockets. Like this is the first world where it was really high trust societies. But right now they just have them because the woke people, they've decided that going after those illegal immigrants who are actually causing crimes everywhere in the city is somehow racist, and what they use that to keep them around. Why? First of all, they're the vote. Secondly, they have programs that their people, that they assign their people to say they're helping the immigrants. They have programs, they have hotels that they pay every month to house them. They have what? All these programs, all this money is the reason they're allowing such things to happen. Society be damned. That's what it means. Society be damned. If things get destroyed for middle class or lower middle or whatever, it doesn't matter. And any country that attacks its middle class is going to hell. Look at America and or even UK. When they ate into their middle class by destroying their manufacturing, this is what happens. And then now they have to import new people with different cultures who they have not really grown to take responsibility for anything, because this is let's be real. This is what is going on here. Anyway, let's continue.
The Police Service of Northern Ireland says that while they are liaising with counter-terror police, there is no information to suggest that this is a terrorist-related incident.
I share the public's revulsion over the brutal nature of this attack, which has created.
But now they talk about the far right,
Ireland, but much further afield. And I understand also that there will be questions regarding the nature of the attack. Throughout today, we've been liaising with senior counter-terrorism partners. At this stage, we have no information to suggest that this was a terrorist-related incident. However, I must stress, we are still at the early stages of our investigation. This brutal attack has sent shockwaves through our...
Ireland has become very woke. Like, it is just... Every country I've noticed that picks up this excessive progressive ideologies, it just starts failing faster and faster, because virtues are being weaponized. Oh, be empathetic, they're being weaponized so that people can let their guard down, so that the elites, because this woke movement is an elitist movement, for those of you who don't know. It is being imposed upon from top down. That's why you see a lot of very minority groups have disproportionate power in politics and society, in art, everywhere. They just, because that's how they contain the majority, or at least try to contain them. Why would they want to contain them? To reduce competition. Their positions which they hold, anyone can come and really go after it these days, especially the internet. You can build an audience and go after them. So one of the ways that they've done it is this. And of course, there's all the socialist, communist nonsense from the past that's remained in colleges and universities and whatnot, that's still being cooked. By the way, if you're a communist and you believe in communism, just understand that you are one of the stupidest people in the world. Yes, just understand that, and we'll continue with life. We understand you. Once you say you're a communist, we understand you're stupid, and we deal with you accordingly. Yeah, we don't give you any serious responsibilities, except now in the West, they're voting for them. The Mandanis. I saw you Africans, Mandani, you don't know anything. You guys are so stupid. Anything just gets you excited, you jump in. You don't even know the guy has never had a job. He's a rich kid. Mandani is a rich kid. He's never had a job. He just became an activist, and they started regurgitating that nonsense, and they fall into it, and they get funded, and they're here. You guys just support anything. Anyway, I that stuff works me up. Sorry, but my friend.
And I want to reassure all of our communities, your safety is our priority.
That's not true.
We're currently engaging with local representatives and residents to provide reassurance and support. That is why today the public can expect to see an increased police presence across Northern Ireland this evening and in the coming days to help support, reassure and keep all of our communities safe. We understand that there's considerable posting on social media and people have real questions and real concerns, but we'd ask the public to be very mindful of what they share online.
Do not show these people for who they really are. No. We are the media now. We share what we want. And you see, in UK, for example, they can put you in jail for Facebook posts. The reason for that is they don't want the truth to come out. They want only their approved narratives to go out. So that's why you see me bullish like this. I'm going to Skuma. This is just started, my friend. This is new. Don't joke. And there's no one who's going to tell me, be very careful what you post. You see the way your president and when Gen Z were doing their protests, and even after, even on all things, this or that, they said, oh, you should be careful about what you post. Do not insult the kid and the minister, the president. That's all nonsense. You don't tell me what to post. I'm not a criminal, and I am actually more moral than you are as a politician who steals every day and somehow thinks they can tell me how to behave on the internet. Like, give me a break.
Sharing footage, this could risk causing further trauma to the injured man.
They're talking about the man. What they really mean is that it's going to cause the native populations to get even more pissed off by these immigrants, because this guy is an immigrant, the Sudanese. And they've been complaining about these immigrants for years. Now, such a moment is what ignites the people. And that's what this guy is trying to avoid. For better or worse, this is what is going to happen. But unfortunately, this idiot is not doing it in good faith. What he's not telling people, it will traumatize the victim. No. It is going to make the native population rise up against your very favored immigrants. Your voter base that you're bringing in, your cheap labor. Yes, that's what he's fearing. That's why he's saying this. I'm just decoding this for you. So I know a lot of you people just watch this and you're like, yeah, he said that. Yeah. I'm trying to explain to you what it is actually is.
And may impact upon the ongoing investigation. So I would urge caution and ask that people do not share the videos and images that they may have seen circulating.
Share everything. Let people know exactly how it is on the ground. Don't listen to these government stooges that are pushing this woke nonsense, even if it's here locally. Share everything. That's how you break these narratives, these mainstream media narratives that keep trying to manipulate the population. They're trying to manufacture consent with the population with lies. Don't share the information. How did the Irish become so cocked, man? Jesus Christ. They become so woke. I'm telling you, listen to some of their politicians, you will laugh. I'm very well informed. I watch a lot and wide. I research wide, high and wide. That's why I know a lot.
Answering questions from the media, Assistant Chief Constable Ryan Henderson spoke about the suspect's background.
I'm aware of speculation in relation to the suspect's immigration status. This morning I've been talking to colleagues from the Home Office whose role it is to manage the immigration status of individuals. I can confirm my understanding is that the individual was given leave to stay or remain, in Northern Ireland, but I know that colleagues in the Home Office will be confirming the exact details of the status.
So the reason he's being coy about it is that this guy was supposed to have been deported, but he wasn't because of that woke nonsense. We can deport illegal immigrants. So now that he stayed and he did this, because it has happened a lot, even in America, they have these low-level criminals and they keep rising, and they're illegal in America. And then you see all these woke states, they call them sanctuary states. They keep letting them out. Then eventually they do something egregious, really egregious. Then now it's seen, you guys, he's illegal here, but you keep giving him second, third, fourth, fifth chances. And he keeps terrorizing the community. This is what I keep talking about. This is the fact that black people, everything, you don't have the mind not to do crimes. You have to be given special treatment. In fact, your patron saint of criminality, George Floyd, he is here. Now, can you put up your black flags and say Black Lives Matter? Hey, chant now. Let's spare me the bullshit.
Days, so you'll hear more from over the coming hours. You'll hear more from them this afternoon, I hope.
Earlier in the Commons, the DUP leader Gavin Robinson asked an urgent question on the incident and its implications for public safety, immigration enforcement and community cohesion.
I wish to ask the Secretary of State for Northern Ireland if he will make a statement on reports of a
I watch this quite a bit, not a lot, but when there are interesting things, listen.
Serious violent attack in North Belfast involving a foreign national and the implications for public safety, immigration enforcement and community cohesion.
They're just
Mr.
like
Speaker,
us, they
I'm
don't
grateful
show up.
to the right honourable gentleman.
This is the thing, when there's something contentious to discuss, the other side won't show up because they know. Say, no, you guys kept him here.
For his question. Shortly after 10:30 p.m. last night, a man in his 40s was subjected to an horrific, sustained knife attack in a street in North Belfast. He is in hospital in a serious condition, having suffered very severe injuries. I know the thoughts of the whole House will be with him and his loved ones.
Come on, move on from the bullshit.
Unimaginable distress.
Before we continue, you know what he's going to say next? I know these people. They're going to talk about don't take this to create more strife. The far right. If he doesn't mention far right, then I don't know.
Response from the police service of Northern Ireland was immediate. A man in his 30s was arrested on suspicion of attempted murder. He remains in police custody and the PSNI are continuing to investigate. They have declared it a critical incident. But amidst the horror of what happened, we also saw something extraordinary. When confronted with scenes of terrifying violence, members of the public did not walk on by.
There was the idiot right there was recording. I've never understood. For me, if such as, you know, some things are there, you can't do anything, you can only record, you know, like some things. But such a thing, you have to stop the recording, like to go and do something. You have to pick a heavy metal, a big stone and hit that somebody in the head and finish that business. Like, what are we doing here? It's become rather common actually for people to just be recording when some heinous things are happening. It's not that you are recording then something heinous happens. It's like you found the heinous thing happening and you record. Anyway.
Instead, a number of them stepped forward and at immense risk to their own safety, they intervened to pull the assailant away and protect the victim until the police arrived. To those individuals, I would like to say this. You showed the very best of humanity, and you have the profound gratitude of this entire
only house. From the glazing, come on now.
This was a horrific and brutal attack, and the PSNI are seeking to provide support and reassurance to the local...
The reason why it's taking so long to get to the point is because in the end he's going to blame the far right. Just wait and see.
Community. The Chief Constable, to whom I have spoken twice this morning, and his officers...
By far right, I mean just normal conservative-leaning individuals. Yeah, that's what is far right these days.
...have our full, unwavering support as they pursue their inquiries. I would also like to repeat their appeal not to share or repost footage of the attack out of respect for the victims.
No, it's not out of respect. What they don't want the anger to build up within the population. It has nothing to do with respect. In fact, when a politician is telling you, don't post this thing because it's disrespectful, no, they are saving their own skin. It's their own PR.
Family. Mr. Speaker, I echo the words of the Prime Minister this morning that there is no place for such violence on our streets. All of us have a responsibility now to urge calm and let the police do their job.
Gavin Robbins.
Mr. Speaker, can I firstly thank you for granting this urgent question. The attempted murder in Belfast last night was chilling. What has been seen by thousands already across the country cannot be unseen. It was medieval. The systematic mutilation and attempted slaughter of a citizen of Belfast on our streets.
This guy is leading some. I suspect he's one of them who's going to say this immigration has to stop. We have to deport everyone. He sounds like that.
Mr. Speaker, my prayers are with the victim, and I similarly praise the brave man who with a hurl in his hand too. Mr. Speaker, what occurred last night will have profound implications for community cohesion in this country.
Yes.
This needs to be a...
It's the same thing they did with the British guy Novak. Like the Sikh had stabbed him a number of times and the cop came and they acted, you know. It's the same thing. It's tied, actually.
And openness and truth. Will he confirm that he and his government recognise that uncontrolled immigration needs to end?
That's what.
Will he confirm that the government needs to reassure and protect our population who for too long have had their concerns ignored?
No, they are called racists and fascists. That's
and knowing that he and the Chief Constable and I share a concern that there could be violence, and express my wish and our collective desire for calm, that community cohesion lies on the precipice. Will he confirm that the actions last night in no way reflect or represent the values of our nation? That the victim belongs in Belfast, but the attacker does not? Having abused the privilege of our nation, the perpetrator living in the UK under a 5-year visa needs to be convicted and deported on the first flight out on a one-way ticket.
Well, I would say to the right honourable gentleman, first of all, the footage that many people have seen is indeed truly horrifying.
Fine.
On his last point, as he will be well aware, any foreign national who abuses the hospitality of this country to commit crimes should be in no doubt of our determination to deport them. We need to allow the criminal justice process to take place. On his question about net migration, as he will know, it is now down 82% from the peak reached under the previous government.
So these ones have taken...
I would most particularly echo what he has said in appealing for calm, because we have seen previously in Belfast in August 2024 and in Ballymena in 2025 what happens after horrific incidents when there is disorder on the streets, because it is the communities that suffer, it is innocent people who suffer and whose lives can be put at risk. And that is why...
And that is why when our politicians are telling you not to act out, they've been rotting your nation for years, but now they want you to play calm. I'm not saying you destroy your communities, but I'm saying you must make sure that they kick out everybody that you don't want, so that you might have more resources for yourselves, the ones you pay for. Let you not be lulled to sleep by this virtue signaling and always calling you words this, words that. Don't take it for what it is, because people will always call you names, but do not be cowed by that. And this is for all the people across the world who have this anti-woke mentality like myself. You can't allow this manipulation to continue, even a bit. Okay? So at least we've gotten, what did I say? What do I say? We've gotten pretty far here now. So what I wanted to, what I wanted to finish on right now, I wanted to finish on this. There's this case, all right? There's this case in America last year where there was this person called Karmelo Anthony, not the basketballer. This is Karmelo with a K. Not the former New York Knicks legend. No, this is a high school athlete who went to this school, and it was an event, a sports event, and he went to the tent. You know how you go to different schools have different tents. He went to the tent of the school that they were, and basically the team, that school's team, they didn't want him there. They wanted to go somewhere else, to his school's tent or something. But it seems this younger man who had an intent. He had an intent, because that's how I describe it. At this particular moment, this Karmelo Anthony fellow has been put in jail for 35 years, I believe so. He was found guilty of first-degree murder of this individual called Metcalf. I forget what his other name is. But Metcalf is also a name for a very good American NFL player that I like. Is it a wide receiver? Yes, he's a beast. Anyway, what we are going to be listening to now is what happened. Then, yes, so I'll give you my comment, which usually involves breaking down the cultural aspects that actually led to the amount of different feedback you're going to see, because I'm going to also refer to other creators and other people in America and how they are reacting to it, and what cultural thing has precipitated this, okay? Let's first of all listen to NBC.
Out of Texas and the murder trial of a Texas teen, 19-year-old Karmelo Anthony has been found guilty of murder in the death of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf. Metcalf was fatally stabbed at a high school
Austin Metcalf, yes,
track meet, as you may recall, last year. NBC's Ryan Chandler is outside the courthouse in McKinney, Texas. We're also joined by NBC News legal analyst Misty Maris. Ryan,
let's listen first, then commentary later.
Hours. Walk us through this verdict. What was the reaction inside and outside the courtroom?
Well, I'll tell you, as soon as news of the guilty verdict reached the crowd that has been growing here since Thursday, tensions boiled over. We heard visceral tears and angry confrontations break out in this crowd. The police presence seeming to triple here as they try to keep the peace. Since Thursday, there have been supporters of both the Metcalf and the Anthony families here. Now the Anthony family is protesting, as they have since the beginning, raising concerns for a fair trial, but certainly a lot of bitter comfort for the Metcalf family. Our eyes inside the courtroom said that there were tears bursting out as soon as the verdict was read out from both sides. No reaction visible from Karmelo Anthony as he embraced his lawyer. We are now still awaiting some major news from inside the courtroom as well. They will now move on to the sentencing phase. Anthony found guilty of first-degree murder, but not capital murder. So he is not eligible for life without parole. His maximum sentence, 99 years, potentially.
Now, let's first of all, what happened after this particular murder is that there was a split between white and black people, as it's been with many of these incidents. But this was very clear about what happened, everybody what they said and what not, and all the evidence, video and otherwise indicated that this Karmelo fellow, he went there to look for trouble. And when you see the way normally, like I remember working in high school, you can't just come to where we are and you're from a different team and we are talking and we are trying to form a bond there as teammates. Then you just come there. It's like you're listening, you're telling us you want to do. You can't do that. It's never been the case. But even then, you would go to another school, you'll know somebody in that school, you'll hang out and you'll talk and they introduce you to other people. Pretty harmless. But when it came to competition, not so much. Now, the thing that became really viral is the fact that the black people at that particular time, there was also another white woman who had called some kid the N-word. So, and then they went after her. So she started a GoFundMe. This guy started a GoFundMe. So they raised money for this Karmelo fellow. I think they raised over $600,000. Yes. And Karmelo fellow and his family moved from where they were. They moved to a new neighborhood. They basically spent the money that was being raised for him for his court case to live well. They bought new cars. They actually lived well. There were some activists that came out of the woodwork trying to... These activists, they used that scenario, they screamed racism, and they made a lot of money. So that 600 or something, let me fact check. Let me check how much money that was. Like it was Karmelo Anthony. It was Karmelo Anthony. What is it called? GoFundMe. Yeah, I'll show you how much money this guy actually raised. Karmelo Anthony gives flooded with donations. So there's new donations. Let's see. So this guy, he raised $629,000 of the 1.3 that they were asking at the goal 1.3. So that's the mother, I believe, Carla Hayes, who did the thing. Then I think now it has gone up from 629 to 633. And I believe this is just, the family is trying to make quite a bit of money from this thing. So telling you, scumbags everywhere. It doesn't matter. You see, it doesn't matter what you say. These guys, where there's money, where is that my linky? Linky. Yes, this is the link. They want the money. So that's what he made, 600, and then they spent that money to go. On this other side, there was a lot of attacks by these black activists against the Metcalf family, the person, the boy that had been killed. And it became this online race war. Let me just call it an online race war because I don't believe there was anything that happened outside that. So this is where it went. And you see, they were trying to create gray areas, or they accosted him, so he reacted self-defense. But there was questions, why did he come with a knife to begin with? Like you see, like in school, and some guy from another school comes and is carrying a knife. Like, what is that? What is that about? It's because it's a criminal element. Let's be honest about it. He was looking for trouble, and he found the trouble. And then what he did is that because a lot of these kids have no impulse control, no fathers. Apparently, this guy has a father. So he must have a weak father, pathetic father. Yes? So he didn't have the back and forth, and because this is the thing, they say they pushed him. I think they told him to talk up. Then he stabbed Austin Metcalf, and that was the end of it. He passed away, Austin Metcalf. Then now the case, that's from last year to now. There was a lot of propaganda, the racism or what. Then they went to the court case. They were asking the blacks who have been called to be jurors, or there's ways they ask so that they know whether you are suitable. And all the blacks are saying they will favor Karmelo because he's black. So they kicked him off the jurors list. And that also brought other issues. So anyway, let's continue.
So let me turn to you. 4 days of testimony, less than 3 hours of deliberations. Are you at all surprised at how quickly this all happened?
I was, Kate.
It's not surprising if you just followed the facts. Even me in Kenya, I could see from the video and all the data, the actual evidence that was there, and what everybody has said was there, and actually what Karmelo himself said about it. I knew that this was open and shut. But you see, they started to layer on the racisms and the whatnot so that they could create gray areas, and they raised a lot of money. They raised it's almost 80 million shillings, my friend.
Because this is a complicated case, even though
no, it's not.
You had 4 days of testimony, you had a lot of witnesses, you had a video, but the video wasn't necessarily dispositive, could not see it, so the jury...
No, the video, you're able to see it created the setup, even a lot of the evidence. The 1 or 2 guys who are on Karmelo's side, when they gave false information, they were able to check the video, say, no, you said you saw, but on this video you're seeing you're looking in the opposite direction. So how did you see? So it was important in that it helped disqualify a lot of the fake testimonies that were being put forth by the Karmelo team. These guys, even if you listen to the defense lawyer, who at the end he just said, this guy, I think he impaled himself. Until the jurors were in shock, So this is what is happening. This is why, if you really want to know the true facts, not the manipulations and whatnot, you come here. I personally don't care for anything more than being accurate, being honest, and being truthful. That's the only thing I care about, because I think it's better currency than manipulations and propaganda that doesn't suit anyone, that is laced with lies.
A lot to go through. You also had murder for them to determine whether or not there was a conviction on murder, which there was, manslaughter and the self-defense element of it. So this was a very, very quick verdict.
Karmelo Anthony did not testify in his own defense. What kind of an impact do you think that might have had on this jury?
Well, we can see from the jury's determination of a guilty verdict on murder that they dismissed the self-defense as an argument, that they did not find that he acted in self-defense.
Which is what his lawyer...
And you see, this thing is... Okay, sorry.
Which is what his lawyers were looking for. And self-defense requires somebody to concede that they committed the act, but with legal justification.
Yes, and now that's the biggest problem, because when they decided not to put this kid up to defend himself, it was quite obvious, and everybody actually quite knew that if they put him up there, it was going to be a quicker wrap. They're just going to end that case a bit quicker, because he's not convincing, he's just a brat, like you can see everywhere he has this look, just He's one of those. He's one of those kids who've been raised in America to think that they can do whatever they want. If you check the videos in America, they're like kids his age just collecting the way our kids are collecting in high schools. They're collecting now to go rob stores. Yeah, to go party hard and rob stores and just flood like a shop and take things and run out. That's what they're doing. And I'm telling you, this is why I do things from across the world, because you have to notice that this cultural movement is worldwide and it's being cultivated by certain people in a certain way. And the fact that you refuse to look close at your kids and deny your kids access to some of these things because you don't want them to feel bad or whatever the nonsensical thing you make up. This is what is destroying the world. We've refused to discipline this kid. This kid went to a meet with a knife with the intention to cause damage, and he was looking for trouble. When he didn't get it, he decided, let me go to that tent. Let me go disturb those people. Because he knew they were not going to take his nonsense. And then he went that extra mile. What type of mind have you cultivated in a child like this for him to think that this is what he has to look for now? Yeah? It's the lack of parenting at all. You've let the TV and social media and TikTok raise your kids. Right now in Kenya, we have kids claiming they're non-binary, I don't know, pronouns. Where did you get that crap from? You've allowed them to jump into the social media, TikTok, and actually be propagandized by TikTokers, some of the dumbest people that you've ever met anywhere. Most of them are just good for twerking, but now they thought they might say something about this because it's easy to just keep regurgitating the same thing. You know, misogyny or patriarchy. You know that.
And that standard is that the individual in
this guy, if he had gone up as part of the defense, he would have totally destroyed everything, because also throughout his argument never made sense. This is when they got that GoFundMe money, that's when they really it was quite obvious what they were using this incident for, the parents and the family.
Case Karmelo Anthony perceived a risk that was deadly, and that perception was reasonable. So that's the legal standard. It's tremendously difficult in a self-defense case when you don't hear from the defendant on what they were experiencing that day.
Ryan, back to you just quickly. Do we have any idea whether an appeal will be coming?
It's a good question, Kate. I think that will depend on how the jury chooses to punish him. We have no indication of that yet.
Right.
This is the thing. They're going to appeal, as it is in America. It's one of those things you kind of have to. I don't know if they have the money to do that, because they spent most of their money to ball. They were balling out of control. So let's listen to what this guy is called. Asmon Gold. He's one of the biggest streamers in the world, and now political commentary in America. So let's listen in, because there's a lot of things. There's a lot of narratives that have been spun, and a lot of people really don't want to back from that. And I want you to hear what Americans themselves think. I'm going to listen to him. Then there's another guy called Anton. We're going to listen to Anton Daniels. We're going to listen to what they both think, so that you can actually see how far these ideologies have gone, to the extent where a murderer like this is being defended by black people. The same way we defended George Floyd, knowing he spent years terrorizing his community. And eventually, when he got what should have happened to him 10 years before, we all decided that, no. That's why I do such videos. Let's see what Asmon Gold has to say.
$1 million. Wait, is that true?
By the way,
I thought this too
my
was a
neighbor's
team
kids are
outside.
making
Okay,
noise,
all right. I was like, damn, I wonder where that money went. And practice law, Karmelo Anthony will be convicted and sentenced to life in prison, as he should. He murdered a boy because he raised to hate white people and view himself as a victim in every situation. Oh.
Now, that's generally the consensus, because you do see that in a lot of the black Americans. They are always blaming white people for everything, even when they're basically the most privileged black people in the world, black Americans. And the fact that they have a lot of advantages, they have a lot of a lot of favorable treatment. Just the fact that they have that. But then the narrative is always white people bad, white people bad. And always there's this older generation that has really fomented that because they are making a lot of money from NGOs, which they call non-governmentals or non-profits or whatever. They've gotten a lot of political power from it. They've been able to get people in different governments, local, state, whatever. They've been able to do that just on the back of always claiming racism and they're disadvantaged and whatnot, despite the fact that Africans have been going there for decades and many of them are very successful, and they've actually, despite the fact that many of them vote Democrat kind of, they don't live like that. Most of them don't follow the ideology. So it's kind of like they use that to gain resources. Ukikuwa Mkenya huko usiende kwa mtu mwingine alafu don't follow the wokeness.
Even though they're not deliberating, they themselves are forming at least individual opinions regarding.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to see this, bro. Like, it's going to be any minute now. And please continue to give the Anthony family, as Karmelo fights for his life, and an all-white jury. And America. You
see, that's the thing. These narratives, all white, this will do something, or this, that, it's nonsensical. It's nonsense because this is the thing. If you are going to talk about a colorblind society, so to speak, everybody notices color, but the idea is that you don't take that seriously to judge somebody, right? If you are going to do it, why do you need black jurors to judge a black person? Because you've pretended they are racist against you. Yes, they are white racists. There are a lot of black racists, a lot of Chinese racists. Everybody's a racist. This is not special. But why in a society where you've decided that is something you should frown upon, that you require it to be one of the things that must be fulfilled? You must have your blacks in there because you want to corrupt the system. They've already found out that you guys will exonerate him just because he's black. I mean,
freed woman dedicated to uplifting black Americans. There's
a lot of people who like to self-aggrandize like this. They are bottom feeders activists. Yes, they are trying to make money off your grievances and your pretentious victimhood, because this feeds each other. This one makes a claim that actually I'm also oppressed. Then you all get in there, but it's only one person getting paid.
Nothing that helps black Americans more than letting a violent knife murderer out on the streets.
Of course.
You know what? You want to know? You want to know how to really help black?
That's sarcasm, by the way.
People, let's let another knife murderer out on the streets. That's a great idea. Why didn't I think of that? Brilliant. Holy shit. That's going to make everything better for them.
Of course.
Just terrible. I know. And again, these people are massively fucking racist.
That's the thing that I wanted him to get to first. I've watched this. So the reason is there is this very weird sentiment in the world that black people, for one reason or the other, cannot be racist. I don't know who put that in but it comes from the West. That black people can't be racist. They start adding caveats like, you need power to be racist. No. Just hating someone based on their skin color, that's what it means. It has no other caveats, all right? But in the West, it's kind of accepted that black people can be openly racist to anyone else, and it's fine. And that's why you see a lot of these black activists abroad, they just like to talk trash about white people, say some of the most egregious things, falsely accuse them of the most egregious things, and being the most racist you've ever seen, but then still think it's fine. No, these people colonized us. So what they are trying to do is use the suffering of their ancestors to try and gain a leg up now. And also step on your enemies, your political and social enemies. You want to step on them to using that suffering of your ancestors. Give us reparations. Who's paying? Everybody. White people. What about the white people who died for slaves to be released? The hundreds of thousands who fought a war for it. You're still white. There's no coherent argument when it comes to these woke talks. There's nothing coherent. A lot of it is nonsensical, a lot of it is contrived, and a lot of it is manipulation and lies, so that people can make money and gain political power. Please wake up, you idiots.
Insanely fucking racist. Oh my God.
Yes,
Freed
that's
woman,
true.
she's
I agree
150
with you
years old.
100%.
I don't know about that. He's not a violate knife murderer. You can't even spell violent right.
That is
even I
reading
can
his
spell
chat.
that. Like, that's bad, bro. Like, you really want me to read your opinion? I don't want to. You're illiterate. You don't know anything. Wait, freedom? We still have slaves?
This is my type of guy. He's very he's very straightforward. That's why I watch him. There isn't bullshit around him. And a lot of the people I found I listen to are like that. Probably because I'm the same, I think. I don't like to pussyfoot around important issues and play this PR game where you want to be nice to everyone. And no. I just care about the honesty and the truth. That's all that matters.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, we had to get rid of it. We did. We got rid of slavery. It was a while ago. We don't do that anymore.
He's being sarcastic. I always have to say this because people are dumb.
People saying to bring it back. I think that there are some instances where, especially for people in jail, kind of, But yeah, for now, yes. Learning Center student. Okay, let's see here. Please tag Give Sendo something remarks with a Christian crowdfunding platform. What is this here? A goal of being God-centered?
That's the woman I was telling you called the kid the N-word and raised a lot of money. So yeah,
I call the child the N-word. Oh, this is some other. Yeah,
Let
this
me
is
just
a long
skip
time ago.
ahead.
Damn. Where was this tweet when Karmelo Anthony hit Give Send Go hit 500K? In what universe is calling someone a word worse than stabbing someone in the chest with a knife and killing them? Both. Or neither should be removed.
Now,
Yes.
this is him posting then, but this is what I was saying. That these guys, they try to equate this woman calling the kid the N-word to this person who just stabbed someone in the heart to death. Like it was one of the... That's why for me, I don't follow this black woke stuff. Because it's the most corrupt form of information or ideology I've ever seen. It's just layered with just bullshit artists. Even here locally, all our activists, by the way, they're bullshit artists. I don't care what you can cry about it. I don't care. Go follow them. Go lick their behinds. I don't care. They're all fake. They're like your politicians. That means you are like your politicians. That means you are like your activists. You're all fake.
Obviously. State police are here. Oh, boy.
Okay, so this is
a few...
Freedom of speech, yeah.
No, these are those activists. Now, there's been those black activists that have come here saying you free Karmelo. Like, why are we as black people always backing the bottom of society? Why are we always defending with all our might the bottom, the worst of us, the worst people? Those are the people we stand up and with all our strength. Are we like that intrinsically? Do we think that we are going to get in that position? We are going to be criminals also a bit, that you might steal, or you've been stealing from your employer, you've been doing some corrupt deal somewhere, your activism is fake, so all the money you're making. So is that to cover for that? To scream about virtue are the tallest, but you are really screaming for a murderer to be released into the public because he's black. I saw a lot of people actually talk about this guy. They just say, no, he's black, and that was it. That's why they're saying, we're going to stand on our own, man. Nonsense. They're not your own. You just want to cover for your own criminal acts.
Thank
Idiots.
God they turned that shit off. I don't want to listen to that. That's so smart. That's going to make everything better for you. That'd be great. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why I didn't think of that. That's than a knife murderer being released from prison. That'd be great. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why I didn't think of that. That's so smart. That's going to make everything better for you. In ritual with red eyes.
I need to jump around to see.
In terms of why Karmelo Anthony was under the tent, that he had a friend, that it was raining, he went for cover.
Yeah, so these are a bit more details that came out of the the trial.
But the defense never explained why he brought this pocket knife. It was just a small knife.
That was
3.5
my
inches.
question
Why
exactly.
he brought it to the track meet. Do you think that in terms of
he
on the
brought it to
defensive
stab
side,
somebody.
was that a missed opportunity in terms of not explaining why he had that with him? Is that something that they should have gotten into, or is,
What do you think happened to get
is
set
this
free?
a case of less is more?
I mean, I think they
It's not gonna
ultimately
happen.
decided that less was more. I think their point was
He was
it
going to
lawful
destroy
have
it.
and risking a violation of school policy was indifferent. When you think of a person having a knife, the knife is displayed, and jurors have to form a belief if they think that that knife can be used for other utility purposes or if it's there exclusively to be used as a weapon.
That's a good point.
So did he bring the knife to, was it to cut oranges or, peel some mangoes? Is that what Karmelo came with a knife to school with? To peel oranges or to cut oranges and peel pineapples? So why? Let's stop kidding ourselves.
He's bringing up
in the range of knives, if you will. One of the things is that the knife was less than 5.5 inches, which
it doesn't care. A knife of 2 inches can finish you. I want to get to where these activists are shouting to free this murderer here. This another feral child raised to destroy society. At least this one has been rid of, but not before he killed someone.
Suggest and to potential uses.
Who brings a knife to a track meet? What do you got to do with that? You got to
Yeah,
cut some rope at a track meet? I don't think so.
Everybody with half a mind is asking the same questions.
Let's be honest. 2.5 inches fine for self-care. I mean, I got my bath.
Okay, I need to see.
Gave me random shit, going utterly berserk.
County since 2025 when this took place.
Oh my God.
Maybe let's just let.
Oh my God.
Let me go to X myself and find out about these vagabonds. Karmelo, what is? Karmelo is Karmelo. Karmelo Anthony. Let's see. It's trending there. I want to watch some of these activists acting out. So that's what we've seen. So the guy what is guilty is a gross miscarriage. So there's this guy who, by the way, has been very level-headed in a lot of this is, but for somehow in this case he's so blindsided. What do you mean even if you don't agree with what he did? He killed someone. Okay, let's listen to what this is called. Anthony Brian Logan. Yes, I do follow him. It's one of them.
Karmelo Anthony has been found guilty of murder out there in Cullen County, Texas, after the 2025 track meet incident in which he stabbed Austin Metcalf. Now, straight away, I'm going to say it. This was a gross miscarriage of justice. Gross miscarriage of justice.
What a stupid thing to say. And you've doubled down on this, Anthony, and you're wrong. You're wrong top to bottom, but hey. This
was not murder. Whether you believe the stabbing was right or wrong, it doesn't matter. Let's talk about
what do you mean it doesn't matter?
But what the law says. The law says that you must intentionally or knowingly cause someone's death.
What the hell is this guy talking about? He told the guy, you touch me again and I'll whatever, and he kept on probing him and then took out the knife. When they pushed him, he took out the knife and stabbed him. What is this guy talking about? What a buffoon.
This refers to when you get up in the morning and say, you know what, I'm going to go take this man's life.
Like, seriously, that is the level of your argument. Oh, this guy. The thing is, he made a commitment earlier about this case. So what is happening now that he can't accept that he was wrong? So he's doubling down, saying stupid things. I mean, this is so disappointing.
When you pull out a gun, you shoot him, you're trying to rob him, carjack him, something like that. That's a murder. Manslaughter is when you do something reckless that causes someone to lose.
So you take you put your hand in a bag where you had carried a knife, take out the knife, flip it and stab someone. So that's reckless. Not intentional at all. And then you've been goading this person. Yeah, touch me, you see. You see, like where we used to do it in high school. So somebody touches you, you either abuse each other or you're suing. All right? But did any one of us stab someone? This is buffoonery.
Their life, like playing with a gun, it goes off and then somebody gets shot.
Is that... is that... So Karmelo fell on the no, not Karmelo. This Austin fellow fell on the knife. The knife was just seated there, then he fell on it. Yeah.
Neither of those things happened here, so it wasn't even manslaughter. It's not even like, oh, well, give him manslaughter. Nah, this was self-defense. This is not guilty.
What the fuck? I'm going to go back there and call him names.
Self-defense says you must reasonably believe that you are at risk of great bodily harm or death. Now, if you're 5'8", 130 pounds, here comes Austin Metcalf, 6 foot tall, 215 pounds, and it's his brother. And
so that's why when they tell you to leave over 10 times, you should leave, maybe? Yeah, because they told him to leave a number of times, and this guy said, you touch me and see. Yeah, so he went to their tent, they told him to leave, he refused, he told them to touch him and see, and then,
maybe to more people, you feel like you're in danger, you're at risk, that's self-defense. Just
I'm going to respond to him right now. This is a very stupid argument. You were wrong. Stop doubling down on nonsense like a woke idiot. Stop doubling. Okay, this is spelling here. That's how we do. I like X. So let's continue. Can I go? Let's. Karmelo's verdict shows that the justice system was reverted back to Jim Crow era. You see, all these black people, founder, CEO at fun, text. No, I don't care. So everybody. So here is context. It's no longer about evidence. No longer about right or wrong. It's like what? You see, they just say words. There's evidence. There's video. There are a lot of what do you say? Witnesses, and they all said, anyway, clarification, while the jury in Anthony's murder trial had no black jurors, it was not all white. Reports confirm a diverse panel including white, Hispanic, Asian, and other jurors. Yeah, they removed the blacks that had been called because the blacks perjured. They said that it doesn't matter. It was no surprise that an all-white jury. So that's already a lie. So it's been... So this, I'm trying to show you this so that you can see. So here, Eti, this is the real Karmelo. He's a good kid, comes from a 2-parent home, A+, needed 2 jobs and carried himself like a gentleman. White people will never know this, will never show this on their page. Come on, get the head. You see this, they always remove the picture where the person is looking the best with truth. No, this was a degenerate kid who would not been taught any impulse control and killed someone because they didn't want him there. So anywho, that is what I wanted to show a bit over there. So I was just showing you the reason why a lot of us just don't really follow this. We know you have to follow facts. I'm not here to just follow what blacks believe because blacks want to believe nonsense. You spare me that garbage. So I'm just checking how much today I've gone, but we continue until we finish. So this gentleman you're about to see here is called Anton Daniels, and yeah, he has great channels. You should go follow him. So I'm going to regret to is reacting to. I'm reacting to. So this another black person. So this is not that I'm listening to white people. No. Listen.
Only black people are at the point where they will feel sorry for the criminal and the murderer.
That's what I said.
More than the actual person who's not with us anymore. The actual victim, they don't care about. Everyone feels sorry for this little monster. That's
the exact description of Karmelo Anthony. He's a little murderous monster, not an A+ kid with 2-parent home and nonsense. That's PR. The real person is what we saw what he did.
felt comfortable around you. Well, I got the hell away from y'all. Y'all think this is a game? Like, oh, you're just saying this for likes and clicks. No, I'm not even near you. My kids don't go to school with you.
Yes, a lot of people have a good brain and at least common sense. They don't stay around those niggas. They don't. They don't, because they live in a violent culture that has no accountability. You're seeing people are defending somebody who stabbed someone straight in the heart because maybe they pushed him and told him to leave their tent.
Ain't for likes. This is for real. Like growing up, when my friends would come over, hey, my dad would check them at the door. Listen, man, you gotta take that do-rag off. This do-rag ain't allowed here. My dad didn't like do-rags.
No, it's because it was representative of some sort of degenerate behavior, or that you guys are in some gang and whatnot. So there's some things you do. That's why a lot of the things that we ape, we have to really look back to what they actually stand for, so that we just don't take up anything. And you know, the way we took up gangster rap, I'm not against the 90s rap was top, but there was things that we admired when you were wrong. Now you look at it, you're like, okay, because it's not doing anything for them. It's destroying their communities.
Because he watches the news. He see who's doing the killing.
Yes, exactly.
Take that do-rag off before you come over. And that's all. Like, and you know, when I was a kid, I didn't understand. I'm like, why is dad like this? What's going on with dad, Ma?
The dad was there knowing exactly who to keep his kids away from.
Why is he tripping? Why is he embarrassing me? My mom sat me down and told me a story. Listen, your dad's seen a lot of things. What do you mean, Ma? What happened? You know, I never told you this, and don't tell your father I told you, but when we were young, you know, we used to party at your dad's house, you know, when we were 16, and his brother had just come home from the military. His brother was older, you know, your father looked up to him. He was kind of the protector.
I hope there's no copyright man, these songs. So I'm just holding a bit.
Protector of the home. Everybody loved him. He was just a great guy. Just came home from the military. You know, and they threw a party for him. Celebrating, everybody celebrating downstairs. What happens? A knock on the door. My father's brother goes up the stairs, opens the door. What is it? A bunch of monsters. You know, do-rag wearing monsters. Yo, we want to come to the party. My father's brother tells him, no, you're not allowed. Nobody else is allowed. We're going to just keep having this party and you guys are going to leave. What do they do? Oh, yeah? Put a gun to his head, shoot him in the head. He fall down the stairs, died.
That is what that Nika culture. The Nika, I say Nika because YouTube. That is that culture of gangsters. That's why stereotypes are there for a reason. Do not overlook stereotypes because somebody is trying to manipulate you to accept monsters into your life. Take the stereotypes for what they are. They exist for a reason. It's called pattern recognition, people.
In front of my dad.
Yo, listen, that's a hell of a dramatic story that he just told. And even if he didn't tell it, the fact of the matter is that the culture is cooked. And it's just the reality of it. We don't even know how to balance between things that are okay or we look at as just entertainment and the things that we're getting influenced by. And that's then determining how we operate within our culture, right? And so a lot of these people are mad, but nobody is really deep diving into the real issue. And the real issue don't have nothing to do with racism. It's how we carry ourselves.
They don't want to deep dive and they'll always obfuscate to racism because that's the easy out. It's not my fault or my responsibility. It's these white racist people. An easy out for some of the worst humans you'll ever meet.
Is what we've normalized. I remember growing up, very similar to him, but I didn't have any of these dramatic stories, is that even when we would go out and we would hang out or we would hoop with our friends, when they was like, all right, we about to go to your house, a lot of times we would get scared or I would be like, hey, listen, you got to change this, you got to change that. You can't.
There's, even as we grew up, when we grew up, there are people that wouldn't be allowed into our houses because they knew from the grapevine, they knew. So they would try to keep us away from them because that's what parenting is. Sometimes, of course, we'll rebel and whatnot. But eventually, if you've been brought out correctly, you're able to take a step back and assess at least the nonsense you've done and see how you can, not continue with it. And then, of course, the parents won't let you off. They'll beat you like a snake. So that one, together, it reinforces good behavior. It is what it is. If you take that away and people are just talking, and I said, yeah, I've never caned my kid. That's why your kid is an animal.
Be doing this around my mom, bro. She'll grab you by your neck. You can't be doing this around my dad because we had respect, right?
Rules. Kids need rules. They don't know anything. They have not experienced anything. They've never built anything. They've never learnt much. They need rules. And as an adult, you must have already matured enough and become informed enough to be able to inculcate that in them. The problem is we have immature adults who want to behave like those teenagers. So you're finding you're all arguing. Oh, that's why we are listening to our cabinet secretary saying, no, we need to negotiate with these students. Like, that's the level. You've dropped your level so that you can stop taking responsibility for your bullshit, right?
We're afraid. Even when we had to do something, we would sneak about it.
Yeah.
To look at the guy's Facebook and
when you have to sneak to do something, you do it less. That's the other thing people don't say. A lot of people say, no, we'll do it. No, you'll do it less if you have to see, because the opportunity, just by the nature of it, the opportunities are less.
social media, the Cyrus guys, Facebook and social media, it's crazy to actually observe it and see it in real time, because it was like, yo, this dude is pointing with a gun and a laser. I am very vigilant on my own nephew's social media. And I'll be looking at them, and if something was to ever pop off, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to call their father.
Yes.
The second thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to call them and I'm going to say, hey, man.
That's what the community used to do, the neighbors, the extended families. We are all watchdogs because we know what youth does. The youthful exuberance, we know what it does, and you mix it up with the immaturity and lack of impulse control, and you just have distraction in your hands. That's why the entire community used to police kids. No, I saw your kid doing. I saw your kid doing. Your kid was coming to my house. Like, there was policing everywhere, and you must do it. The reason you want to act like I'm a cool parent is because you don't want to do your duties. You want to use being cool as a way to run away from disciplining your kids.
And what you doing? What you into? What's going on, bro?
Yeah, exactly.
You off the reservation? What's wrong with you? And then it's going to be a fixing, right? In some way, shape, or form, whether it be, yo, you going to move differently, or maybe we got to get the furniture moving, or whatever it is. But my point is that we as parents, as a community, as a family, we were responsible for our child.
Yes.
And if, let's say hypothetically that there was some kind of validation between the other adult, that no, we gonna check him too, because we too close and we can't allow for our children.
Yes, even when other adults behave stupid, like the way this cabinet secretary negotiated their kids, then I'll tell them no. You saw the other minister, no, we can't negotiate with these animals, but they don't know anything. We are the ones who show them what to do.
To be out here in these streets. And when I look at the Karmelo Anthony situation, when I look at this Cyrus situation, the only thing that I can think of is, how is the parents allowing for this thing to play out the way that it did? Why was he able to post that on social media? How are these young kids that are in high school walking around with guns and lasers on them?
That is America. Locally, why are we allowing our kids to go and have parties and have just indiscriminate sexual activity, or follow these stupid people on the internet with their silly ideologies? How do you allow that, and you don't even know that one day your kid just shows up and telling you, I'm a they, them. Mom, I'm gay. Mamina Morio tulifika mtaa. He's not even from the mtaa, but he's gone and mixed up with the ghetto people, and they've smoked some weed and done some bullshit and maybe picked a phone. Now he feels he's part of the crew. That is what is...
Nobody is having that conversation.
Yep.
I just did a video the other day about a mass shooting that was in Chicago where, you know, a guy that was a chef, but he was going to cut somebody's hair in order to make extra money, wound up getting killed because he just so happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time when some other guys walked up to them on the sidewalk and wound up shooting them in the head.
And you see, this is the thing. You see, this is the kind of vagrancy that comes out of the world these days is when you've allowed these kids who do not have any type of life experience, they've not been able to do anything important, they have not learned discipline, that now they're being left out there to go to the public. They don't just affect you and your family. They're affecting everybody. They affect me, they affect when you hire them, when you interact with them on the street, interact with them in the club or wherever you meet. They're affecting everybody, and that's why we will not look lightly on them. I was trying today to mix up our situation here in the schools, the way the kids are behaving, and you can see in the West what's also behaving. The fact that adults have obfuscated their responsibilities and handed them those to these buffoons that don't know anything. And you can see the effect. They're burning schools with their fellow classmates in it, dormitories, and another one is taking a knife to a meat and ending another student's life. This is where we've gotten. It's not as localized as you would like to believe, So anyway, that was my last story of the day, and the next stream is going to be on Friday. What I actually found out, that what I can really do is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, the streams. It will get to daily, but I need to ease myself into it. I need to find time and, budget my time and schedule a few things around. But I think Monday, Wednesday, Friday is going to be perfect. Friday, I want to do 10 a.m. and see how that works. Today, I did like 6 p.m. So I'm going to do different times and see. But I have the best that I've ever done, actually a stream, over 600 people who viewed, was at 10 a.m. So that must be the magic slot, yes? Anyway, I don't know what you guys think about everything I've talked about. I'm going to be leaving tomorrow and later today. I'm going to be putting up a lot of the clips for the different topics I've talked about. So if you just want to be interested in one, you can watch one. So I'm going to put them out from tomorrow and then some on Friday as I pick up like that. And of course, their reels are everywhere on social media. If you look down here, you can follow me on all socials. You'll find reels and links and many other important things, information and whatnot. So you can do that too. At the same time, there is a way that you can support this channel. I'm going to leave the links to my Buy Me a Coffee, Patreon, and I have Mpesa. So those three, for the people who are abroad, if you're from America, UK, whatnot, you can do your PayPal, Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee. I'll have the links below. If you're from Kenya, and also if you're from the diaspora, Mpesa is there. You can throw something that will keep this channel growing. A lot of these bills I'm paying here, but it's just from my pocket, but I've not really made anybody here. So we are pushing and seeing what happens. But I will appreciate if you can do that. So all the things down below. Leave me your comments. Also share this with all the people in there, because I believe the information me share over here is very important. I'm a VP. Let me just, I want us to leave with this big tune by, let's see, Achantman, me say. Where is Achantman? Loving Adi Girl. Ooh, let's go. So, that is what's going on. Twende kasi. Hey, how are you not lonely? Yo.
Lady, a twist and turns you make left root boy in a fire. Especially that touch don't stand. That Kundi from Brian. All the moves you manifest left root boy in a Zion. Below you is performing. Your attacks come without warning. Darling,
love the girl. Run, pretty girl.
I don't come from far.
The girl, they get rest. Anything that you have to say. Anything she wants. Right, I know we party like rock star. Even over my.
Do it hard and sword. You will never ever find me playing old woman role. Loving the girl, you know, that's my style. Educate the bobbies and because they love my profile.